Hi everyone, it's Lynette with Grammy Crochet, and today is Thursday, the 30th of January. I believe this is Charm Chatter number 19. It'll be in the description box, but I think it's 19. I forgot to check. And I want to thank all of my subscribers for subscribing and watching and liking and commenting and sharing and being part of my yarn journey. If you're not a subscriber and you would like to be a subscriber, you just hit that little subscribe button. I appreciate all of my subscribers. I have a giveaway that is ending tomorrow. So it's my birthday giveaway. I did it on my birthday, so that would have been January 8th. And ends tomorrow, and I'm picking the name on Saturday. Or the winner will be announced on Saturday. So if you have not entered that, please do. I'm giving away a lot of nice things. Let's see, what else do I have? I want to thank you all for coming into my yarn room with me. I hope the lighting is okay because it's like gloomy outside, but a little bit of sun is coming in the window. I got my ring light on. I don't know. But anyway, I am basically here. I don't have any finished objects. I've been working on my Afghan, you know, the latest one Mikey put out, the mandala Afghan. And it's downstairs. Or blanket, or whatever you want to call it. And I've been working on Chloe's sweater, but it's not done yet. So it's like working on a hat for my son. It's not done yet. Everything's not done yet. But I've also been working on a granny square neon colored blanket that I started before Christmas and then had to put it away because I was doing Christmas crochet. So I want to work on that, but I want to finish the other blanket first. But I want to do the neon blanket as part of the season of the Granny Crochet Challenge that's challenging everyone. So I want to work on the neon blanket. I think we have to make something with granny squares. Anything with granny squares that you want to make. And then I think it ends on the 18th or 19th of March, but I think you're allowed to show what you're making as you go, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I have to go recheck with people on that one, so I don't want to show you, but I've showed you anyway, so you've already seen some of those squares. But I wanted to show you things that I have previously made to give you some ideas, maybe if you don't have any ideas. The first thing I'm going to show you, now don't be judgy, because this is actually, besides a scarf, the very first thing I ever crocheted after my mom passed away, which means the very first thing that I ever picked up a hook with and tried to make without my mother, and the first thing in like 30 years. My mom did try to teach me to crochet, and I never got into it, and I've talked about this in the past. But after she passed away, and when I was cleaning out some of her stuff, I found her yarn stash, which was mostly stuff that was given to her. And so I thought, well, I'm going to do something, and I made a scarf that I donated because it was nobody that I knew wanted to wear it, which is a terrible thing. So I gave it to the homeless because I figured they'd wear it. They're cold. Everybody that I knew said, "Oh my God, I'm not wearing that thing." I mean, it was straight. It was just not pretty or fancy or anything. And so I thought, well, you know, if I want to practice, I'm going to practice on bags, market bags, because who cares, right? If it doesn't look right, who gives a crap? It's just a bag to put groceries in. So I did not know, because I was very new at crocheting and my mom was no longer around to guide me and tell me any different. I didn't know that you're supposed to like keep like yarns. I didn't know that a acrylic yarn is probably not the best yarn to make a market bag out of because it stretches. But this is what I made. And I believe this is a pattern from Inga's, it's called Inga's Crochet Bag from All Crafts channel. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is the bag that she made, and I will link it at the bottom. Oh, I have it folded in half. And this bag, I did make it out of baby yarn, not baby yarn, sparkly yarn. I don't know what size hook I used, maybe whatever she said. I know that there are different size yarns, baby yarn and worsted weight yarn. And some, I think, like, I don't know, old style, I don't know, just, and then I didn't do the handle right. I wanted a longer handle to make it a crossbody. So I winged that on my own design. And I've never crocheted before, so this was really weird. Because I wanted it crossbody, so that I thought it would be easier to like carry. The handle is kind of big, maybe not even completely even. And this thing holds a ton, probably because it's stretched. But this is my bag, and it's folded. So, but it's granny squares. So you take all these granny squares, and the design tells you how to lay them out, which was very confusing to me at first, because I didn't realize that, like, the granny squares here, the points of the granny squares is what the handles go into, and it actually has what's supposed to be on the bottom a flattish bottom. But like I said, I can probably put 40 skeins of yarn in this thing. It is so big. I could never carry groceries in it because, as you can tell, it's huge. But I did have like a little bit of a design to the, or I attempted to the color choice, you know, to the yarns. I like, this was an old baby variegated. I don't think that I color coordinated that, but I must have, because the yarns are different in this square here. So I was just like trying to practice crochet. And anyway, the bag is really a nice bag. Probably should have been made with maybe a cotton yarn, and maybe the handle shouldn't be so long, because by the time you fill it up, I filled this bag with yarn to take it on vacation, and it almost drags the ground because I'm a short woman, and it like just stretches, and it's huge. So the bag is really big. But anyway, I like it, and I would make it again in like a more cotton kind of yarn, and it would be much better. Right now, it stores yarn. I use it as a whip bag. If you have a big project, this is the bag to put it in. And if you look in, you know, click on the link, because I will put the link. She does a much better job than I did. So no judging, because it's, but I did want you to see. Granny squares do make a great market bag, or tote bag, or whip bag. In my case, I took yarn out of this to show it to you. With the yarn in it, you would have never been able to see it. I would have never been able to pick it up to put it in front of the camera. Now this is a Easy Crochet Cocoon Cardigan by Anu Crochet Designs. I think you all know who Anu is. So you make this big, huge, I don't know, I hope you can see it. Big, huge granny square. And it is big and huge. This is just one big, huge granny. Start in the center and then just crochet and crochet and crochet and crochet. I made this with a yarn from Stitch Studio, Earth something, Earth Tone, Earth whatever, brushed. So it's got a halo. I have washed it and the halo has kind of gone away a little bit. But it's a big, huge granny, and you kind of fold it in half. I love this thing. I'll put it on for you. But you kind of fold it in half, sew the sides up except for a hole for your arm. So you sew up the side, leave an armhole, make a edging for your arm, and then I stitched around the outside of it to give it an edging. And I love this thing. And you can, make it as big or small as you want. But I'm going to come back here so you can maybe see, hopefully. Oh, bags of yarn. I love this. And I made it big. I wanted it to be big. I wanted it to be able to wrap up. And I can. I wanted it to be long enough to come down my arms. But you can see this is where I sewed it together. And you can make the pattern neat. There you go. So I can wear this in a fall day. I made it last year before I had my YouTube channel. I made it for spring or fall. So if it's chilly and windy, I can actually wear it hooded. I could put a pin in it to hold it closed if I so desired. Or I can wear it down, just like a cardigan. But I wanted it big enough that I could indeed throw it up over my head if I wanted. And this is what it looks like. It's got big holes in it, so it's not too hot for those of us that have been through that hot flash thing. It's not too hot, but yet it's warm enough, and it's long like a duster, and that's what I wanted, and that's what I got. So if I had made it not as big, then obviously, you could make it so that it's just like up to your, like just cover your top of your rear end or whatever you want to do, however big you want to make it. But this is what I made, and it's a great design. And very easy. So even if you're a beginner crocheter, it's just double crochet and some seams. And like, I love this. And it was easy to make, and I get compliments on it every time I wear it. When I wear it out of the house. And then the other thing that I made with Granny Squares, and I've showed you this. The Granny Squares were supposed to be a blanket designed by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. The floral afghan, and the putting it into a cardigan is a pattern by Bag O' Day. So I just took Mikey's floral afghan that I didn't want to finish and make an afghan, but I thought would be awesome for fall for a cardigan. And I wear this and all the time. You just sew the granny squares together. Then you add sleeves and trim. You could put a hood on it if you wanted. Add extra granny squares. Make a hood. I didn't want to. So I made this in the fall. And I even put pockets in it. Just don't sew them together where you want the pockets to go. That's what I did. And I made pockets big and deep for my, here, I'll show you the pockets. So this is like you sewed up the side seams, but I just didn't sew it closed where I wanted my pockets to go. And I just crocheted like little pouches and sewed that in instead to make pockets. Because if you're going for a walk or whatever, you want to carry your phone and maybe your car keys, but you don't want to carry a purse, you need a pocket. I love pockets. I don't like anything that doesn't have a pocket. So anyway, if you were looking for designs or ideas and you didn't want to make a blanket, those are things that I made out of granny squares in the last year or so. Well, 2 years, I guess. With the market bag. So you don't have to be, you know, a fantastic with a hook in order to make something that's going to be wonderful, that you're going to love. My understanding with this is that you can post your, I think if you have a channel, I think you're supposed to show everything, even if you've shown it as you go, which is what I think I'll do. I will probably show projects throughout, you know, as I work on them, because I have a couple of projects already underway. And then, or else I won't have anything to talk about for 2 months. And then I think on the like 18th, you're supposed to show everything all together. And do this as a community. So you can post on, if you don't have a channel, you can post on Instagrams at hashtag season of the granny. I have Instagram. I only know how to post a link. That's all I know how to do on Instagram. I used to do that a lot, like all my videos I would post on Instagram. I don't know how, but that's really the only thing I know how to do on Instagram. I don't know how to look up anything by a hashtag, or if that even what you do, I don't know. So don't expect a lot out of me there. You can post on people's Facebook groups. Many channels have Facebook groups. If you don't have a Facebook, you know, if you can send them to my email, charmedgrammycrochet at gmail.com. There is no E in charmed, and I will post them for you. If you don't have a channel, if you have a channel, go for it and inspire people. So I will link all of these things that I showed you in the description box. I said that I'm working on a couple of things myself. So I am working on my neon blanket, and I'm using a V-stitch for those grannies, and I believe that one, better write that down, V-stitch, V-stitch granny, so I don't forget to link it. I believe that one is by Creative Grandma, the stitch that I'm using for that. And I also wanted to say that I am doing a 50 stitches, 50 weeks, whatever, crochet along, 50 stitches, 50 weeks, by the Cool Crochet Society. And I will try to link that. Every week we do a different granny. And then at the end of the year, it's a year-long thing, you do one granny a week. But if you want some more designs for grannies to look at, you might look there. So I'll post a link to that. And there is a Facebook group page for that as well. Between now and then, you could have, what, eight grannies made by that. You can make a bag. You can make maybe a scarf if you put them together. You could start it as the start of a blanket. Terry from YarnJoy podcast is also she's doing a crochet along. She just did the tutorial on how to make that rectangular and squares granny blanket that she has in the back of her room. If you don't know her, I will post the link for her tutorial for that blanket. It's got 2 different size squares and rectangles in it to make a granny square blanket. So I'm making that. I like to make granny squares at work, but I'm making a hat for my son, and that's been my work project for a couple of weeks now. It's going very slow because I'm using a 4.5mm hook. He wanted it tightly. And I only work on it for like 5 minutes a day if I have time on a break or something. So it's not going very quickly. So anyway, I'm going to have to start taking grannies, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this hat. So then I also wanted to do a few shout outs. I normally don't do shout outs, but I was writing down all these things for this video, And I'm like, you know, there are several people, and I will write down people's channels that I want to shout out, and then I never remember to bring the list with me, and so then I forget who I had written down. Most of these you may or may not have heard of, but all of these people are under 1,000 and need subscribers. So if you're not subscribed to them, check them out. First, I have Petra's Happy Place. I think she's about 750. She does a lot of lives. She does a lot of podcasts. She's a really nice lady. Then I have Yarn It Out with Rosalie. Also a very nice lady. A lot of fun. She's been doing this week, I think she's been doing how-to tutorials. She just, I think today is the last day for her glam hat. Hollywood glam hat contest she was doing. And then Miss Allie Makes from Australia. She does a lot of amigurumi. She's really good at those. She works at like a nursing home type of place, I believe, and so she makes things for her her patients, I guess. I don't call them patients. I also wanted to shout out Terry from Crochet Rossetti. She loves granny squares. Terry loves bright colors, and she makes all kinds of great granny squares. She also does amigurumi. She does a lot of gnomes. She's big time into those. Beautiful things. Beautiful, beautiful items. And there's another one that I wanted to shout out. Elaine Hook on Yarn and Life is the name of her channel. She has a lot of videos out there, but she just hit 1,000 subscribers. Sandy at Left is Right, I believe, Crochet, shouted her out. I ran across her channel maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she had mentioned she was going to be changing her channel name. So I told her, when you change your name, let me know, and I will I will give you a shout out, because I didn't want to shout out under the old name. People go there and then they don't know that she's changing her name. So apparently she has now changed the name to Elaine Hook on Yarn and Life. So I'll put a link for her in the description box. She did just reach 100 subscribers, and she's only been crocheting for a little bit, but she has big plans. So, and she the things that I've seen of hers were really, really nice. So give her a look, welcome her to the yarn community. Get your granny squares on, and I will get my granny squares on, but first I have to finish that other blanket. I'm hoping I have the last 5 rows to go, so hopefully I'll have that done before the weekend's out, because my weekend started today. Yay! I'll probably do a lot of crocheting during the football game instead of eating football junk food for the Super Bowl. But I gotta watch the commercials and the halftime show. And I don't care about the football game itself, but you know, there'll be a lot of good yummy munchies, and so it'll be crochet or munch. I vote crochet. Okay, I will talk to you later. Like I said, get your grannies on. Your granny panties, maybe. I don't know. Somebody was doing that. Ooh. Have a good one. Bye.